What's up, it's your boy Hobo Drobo, and now that I feel like Kingdom Rush Battles has been out for some time now, and I've had some time to experience the update, I feel like it's a good time to discuss what I want to see moving forward. But before we get into that, I want to give my thoughts on some of these matches. I was having a lot of success with this Necro Rangers deck in these snowy mountain maps, but then fast forward to today, and I was having a lot of struggles, and you'll see that throughout the video. And so what I think was giving me a lot of trouble on today's map is that for some reason it just wasn't giving me as much gold, and I wasn't able to get a lot of my towers up for that early game pressure, which is where this deck exceeds. And so a lot of these Archmage players were able to get their towers up and just completely counter me by round 4, and you'll see that. These matches did sometimes feel one-sided, and that's because this deck has a lot of risk-reward, which also makes it a lot of fun to play. So if you are interested in playing it on one of those maps that it's good on, I'll have a link in the description to my full guide on how I like to use it. Now, let's get into what I want to see from battles moving forward. Starting with number 1, which I have above everything else, is a casual mode for the normal game mode, Onslaught, and any other events coming in the future. This gives players a place where they can test their strategies, and hopefully they make it so that it's all the same level, because if you're not competing in ladder, your levels shouldn't matter. This should be a place where strictly people can test every single card in an even playing field with no stakes. That needs to be added ASAP. And I have this at number 1 for a few reasons. The first one being that Ironhide did mention today that social features are coming soon, and this will obviously help with that problem a lot. Because if you have custom matches, then at least it feels like you have something where you don't need to put up stakes. And geez, it felt like Sparky had like unlimited time to pick his booster there. I don't know what that was about. But let's get back on track. And the number 1 reason, again, why I want to see this is because for somebody like me who likes Onslaught more than the normal game mode right now, is that I can't play Onslaught if I run out of tickets, and there is no worse feeling than wanting to be able to play the game and I'm not allowed to play it. That, I can't put it below anything else. And I'm stumbling here just because like this is the worst problem to have in a game. You know, forget balance, forget pay to win stuff right now, honestly. Like one of my things on the list is free to play progression, but if you can't play the game when you want to, like that's really bad for business. Let people play your game. But enough of me coping about that, and let's get into another thing that I want to see from events, and that's bigger, badder events. And what I mean by that is I want to see bigger, badder bosses. Right now, the bosses are cool, but they're kind of chibi bosses, and I think that definitely works for battles. However, I want to see an event where maybe the boss comes out in like the first wave or the third wave, and you're given a lot of gold to start, and so you have to cater your strategy specifically to destroying a boss. I think that could be a really cool idea. So getting that in, along with social features, I'll just tie that in here because it was going to be my second point, but I think now that Ironhide has said that publicly today that they understand that people really want that, and that really should be the number 1 thing on this list, I'll definitely shout that out. And I think the first thing they should focus on is just player profiles and custom matches. Clans would be nice, but if they can get those 2 up, that would be awesome, especially if we can see it by next Thursday. That would be huge. And number 2, free-to-play progression. And what I want to see specifically from free-to-play progression is a battle pass, but a nice one that's like juiced up on the free side, and something that's very long, so like players can work on it over time and get stuff, but it's also something that they can grind out in one day. Don't make it so that it's like, oh, some of it's unlocked for 3 days and then the next part is unlocked for the next week or whatever it is. Rocket League does that, and I'm not a big fan of it, and they try to do that to make people come back on like a consistent basis, but I think that since people really want to grind the game out right now, just let people grind something and feel like they're achieving something over a long session. Because right now, with all the bots and the limited event tickets, it doesn't feel like you can spend a long time grinding for something that's worthwhile. And for the players that come back on a consistent basis, they need to buff those daily and weekly challenge chests. They're so weak compared to what you can get, even just from like getting the chests from the stars. I don't know why those are so bad. You get like 5 cards from the wooden one. That just makes no sense to me. And like 15 gold. What are you going to do with 15 gold? So I think that could be tweaked, definitely. Otherwise, I don't mind how I see the chests for the star progression. I think that's pretty fair overall right now. And they just really need to update those weekly challenges and give us more tickets. Why not? Number 3, keep the vision for the game going. I've said multiple times in the past that I think battles shines in Onslaught because you get a new map every day and you're able to build your deck to cater to that map specifically. So for example, today, this Necro deck didn't work very well, but I bet you if I had swapped to the Vesper deck that I was using before that with the Musketeers, it would have been a lot better and it would have been able to cover that arc on the bottom right of the map a lot better, where I was letting a lot of those troops straggle and I was losing those early rounds. So I think that being able to adjust your strategy on a day-to-day basis helps a lot of those players that want to find new strategies shine. And the fact that you can do it every day, I think makes this game really unique. So I think if that's what the vision for the game is, then keep going, Ironhide. You guys are doing great. And this match right here is a perfect example of what I'm saying. Yesterday I was playing these Barasad players with the same deck, and I was cooking them because they couldn't set up their Archmage strategy. But for whatever reason on this map, they were able to get more value, and they were able to set up that Archmage strategy before I could overwhelm them. And even when I tried to swap in Barasad for that extra gold, it didn't work. And in Stadium right now, I'm only playing around 10% real players, and that is a whole different topic by itself. I went into that a little bit in yesterday's video, and I think that that highlights what the experience in Stadium is pretty well. I'm in 8.5k medal range, so I am finding more bots and less real players. However, even the players who are in the lower Stadium ranges don't have cards that can keep up with those level 11 bots, and it's just making it an unenjoyable experience for a lot of people. While Stadium could improve, especially with less bots, I don't think the foundation of it is that bad, and I don't think that they have to look into it too much moving forward. I think that if they focus more on events and adding more casual game modes, it'll bring and keep more players overall than focusing on Stadium right away. But I do like that they have a vision for Stadium, and obviously they're going to make a lot of their money from people buying stuff to upgrade their cards for that game mode, so I don't blame Ironhide too much if they lean into it. So that's just personally what I want to see, but if you disagree, definitely let me know in the comments, because you never know, maybe Ironhide is lurking and they're going to take notes. Otherwise, outside of social features, what is the one thing that you guys want to see from Kingdom Rush battles moving forward? Or if there's anything else you want to see me cover, let me know in the comments. I know somebody had mentioned Barasad, and I want to make that a separate video because I feel like there's a lot of key points I can make just talking about his kit, but also what his hero really means for the game, especially being the first Summon Rift hero, because again, in Summon Rift, it's basically gacha, and if they're going to nerf those right after they leave the Summon Rift, that could be a problem moving forward. However, I think Barasad and Necromancer are both in a good spot right now, because they exceed on some maps, and they really are not good on some other maps. And I feel like I said earlier, that is where this game excels. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching, and if you like this kind of content, consider liking and subscribing. I do my best to upload daily. Otherwise, good luck in your next battles, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.